Hi, I'm Nasreen Amri, the founder of Carrorism.
And I'm Fonde Bridges, the Carrorist spokesperson.
Today is episode 3, and we will be discussing hero consciousness.
Yes, hero consciousness.
Yeah, so let's talk about that just a little bit.
All right, go ahead.
So in order really to discuss hero consciousness, I want to talk a little bit about a victim consciousness and what that means. So essentially, when someone lives in the state of victim consciousness, it's really a state of mind. And it's where pretty much you believe that you're a victim of everything, or everything is happening to you. Like, you can go through a somewhat traumatic experience, but you could be a victim of
you can be victimized even, right?
Yeah. Well, you can be
victimized. Like, you can experience something that does something to you, but doesn't mean you stay with it, right? Isn't that what you always talk about?
Right. You don't have to stay in the victim mindset.
The mindset, right? Okay.
So hero consciousness essentially would be the opposite of that, where you really see that all the challenges that come your way are here to reveal your greatness. You see that you're on a hero's journey.
Yeah.
And all the experiences, whether they're positive or negative, or however you emotionally react to them, all those experiences are guiding you to become the best version of yourself.
Yes. You know, one thing that I say, and it's a little intense, sometimes extreme, but it's no one's getting out of here alive, right? We're all on a journey. This is not a resting place. This is a living universe, clearly a planet that is alive. We are alive, and we are traveling and moving through. So the attitude you bring to the life that you live, that's what excites me about the hero consciousness, is that it really allows me to frame my journey heroically. Mm-hmm. I feel more like an explorer. So I love that about the idea that you have about hero consciousness, not being a victim. It's one of the reasons that I love Carrorism, is any of the moments that I feel victimized, I can reframe that as I'm on a journey, and it's a heroic opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So let's find out what the healthy word of the day is.
All right, healthy word of the day. I will pick this time. The blue one just has been looking at me the whole time we've been talking, so I already knew where I was going.
I'm glad you were drawn to it. It was meant for this episode, clearly.
The healthy word of the day is curiosity.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I'm going to look that up real quick. Let's see what that is. Curiosity.
Well, while you're looking that up, I will say that curiosity in relationship to hero consciousness is extremely important to the mindset, because you are always curious. You stay curious about the challenges and adversities that come your way.
So
that's a heroic stance.
As you know, I love words. And curiosity is a noun. So what I love about nouns is they are something you can possess. You know, you can actually own and have curiosity as something that you possess. It doesn't describe you.
Right.
It's an idea that you can own. You can be curious.
And it's free.
It is free. Readily available. The definition of curiosity: a strong desire to know or learn something. I think part of hero consciousness is that the hero is curious.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
The hero wants to learn or know how to resolve the circumstance, the negative, I would say, circumstance they find themselves in, to create a positive outcome.
Right, they're curious about what the benefit is that they're receiving due to going through such an unpleasant circumstance.
Yeah, I love that. A strong desire to know or learn something. So, all right. Are you going to go first today?
Yeah, I will.
Okay, great.
Okay, so in talking about hero consciousness, and we are in a time where there are a lot of heroes that are really stepping up to the plate. And there's this wonderful opportunity with the coronavirus, the pandemic that we're all in on a world scale. And so I want to celebrate and thank the heroes that are on the front line dealing with the coronavirus. And this includes healthcare workers. Okay. It includes all the employees that are associated with, the non-essential,
right.
or excuse me, the essential businesses, and all the volunteers. And let's not forget to mention all of the people that are really abiding by the social distancing.
Right, everyday people.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're really taking that seriously.
Yeah.
So it's not just a person that I'm celebrating, but
the spirit of
the people. You want to take over?
No, you do you.
Okay. Thank you. But yes, you did take the word out of my mouth.
I apologize.
No worries. That's beautiful.
I got excited.
I'm sure other people felt that as
No,
well.
I got excited. I was like, oh wow, that's cool.
It's the people
Yeah.
as a collective that are embodying the spirit of hero consciousness.
Okay.
On a global scale.
Okay.
So the people as a collective.
Humanity.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Are embodying hero consciousness right now. And there's just there's so many stories that are coming out right now. Mm-hmm. And people are talking about the challenges and the fears and everything else that they're dealing with. But like I said, there is this opportunity for them to step up to the plate and really possess this energy that's like, this is what I was born to do. Like, you're hearing that from a lot of doctors and nurses. Mm-hmm. Like this Michigan doctor, he recently was about to retire, and he was like, you know what, I'm gonna go to work. He said, this could be the last thing I do on earth. And I was like, right.
Yes.
I'm willing to die right here, right now. And if this is the last thing that I do, then I'm proud. I'm grateful. This is what I want to be doing. Mm-hmm. And that really goes back to what you said, which we always talk about.
We do.
That no one is getting out of here alive.
Yeah.
So.
I was just thinking, to his point, something I do, maybe it's more of a poetic way of thinking of it, but it will be today when you die. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It will be today. So, that is the way to live. That is the way to live. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. He's like, if this is the last thing, I want my life to be about that. Mm-hmm. That's gorgeous. And everyone who's approaching these situations, I mean, I have to admit, on a microscopic level, I pumped gas today, and I was like, the coronavirus could be on the handle of the gas tank. But I'm still pumping gas.
Right. You approached it with a curiosity.
I did.
Is our word of the day, our healthy word of the day, but you approach it with a curiosity. You're like, I'm not going to not pump gas.
Right.
I'm not going to be in like a victim
and I'll admit,
state of mind.
I'll admit, I brought soap to the party.
Right.
Yeah,
you came prepared.
I did.
So.
I did show up prepared. I wasn't just a hero out there running around aimlessly. I actually brought soap to the party so that I felt more empowered, but I still had that moment where you're like, you don't know where it is. It could be on anything. And it does cause you, if you don't have curiosity as a part of your mindset, fear will easily slip right in.
Yeah, true. When you're on a hero's journey and you're consciously going at life that way, you definitely put on your backpack and I would say pack some curiosity.
Yeah, right.
So
all right. So of course, as we know, I love the words, and so I scrolled through. I looked at different quotes about hero and heroic and heroism and heroines. And I landed in ancient Greece. And it's about 500 BC. So it's almost 2,500 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I landed on an individual who lived at what I would call the beginning of democracy, doing a little bit of work. Historians argue that there is really no more... there's no one in the history of democracy, especially Athens, especially Greece, that is more significant than this individual. So that's pretty cool. I, of course, was attracted to the quote that was written by this person or stated by this person that they've been getting, and so that caused me to go down, and it sparked my curiosity.
I was going to say,
Were you gonna
all
say
of
that?
these facts are definitely feeding my curiosity. But.
He brought Athenian democracy to its apex. He is considered to be the father of its golden age. The golden age is actually named after him. His leadership and visionary insights inspired the Greeks of his day. Yet we can argue that even to this day, people are inspired by his thoughts and his deeds and his accomplishments, which is beautiful, right? I mean, 2,500 years ago, you had a conversation or you accomplished a goal or you had a vision, and 2,500 years later, through so many different things, humans are still inspired by what you've given to humanity. So that's beautiful. Under his leadership, Athens became the intellectual and artistic center of the Western world. Love that. I also found out that he is considered the fathers of Athens. And here's the interesting part. During that time period, women were not treated as equals in Athenian culture or in democracy.
So they were considered the mother.
Yeah, no one was talking about the mother, but except for Athena was a goddess, so maybe she had like carte blanche. Maybe she was just the boss of bosses. I don't really know. I'm not really into like deities. I don't know that well. I could do some research, but his partner he considered an equal. And so though everybody cherished him as like, oh man, you're the best guy ever, he's like, it's her. She's sitting at the table with all of us.
Oh, so he had a female partner.
He had a female. I'm sorry, I should clarify.
That's all right.
I apologize. Yes, a female partner that he.
As the listener, I just my curiosity was
It's a
sparked.
beautiful observation. I apologize.
Right. You said partner, and I can be a lot of things.
I
so.
did.
Business
and it's
partner.
because they didn't get married.
No. Okay.
That's why I said partner. But I yes, it was a female, and they, or he in particular, honored her as an equal when his contemporaries frowned upon that.
Right. Okay.
So that was pretty modern, since really, if you look at even modern history, even up to today, women all around the world are often. Matter of fact, you know what's interesting? I just got to pause to say this on camera, just for all of time.
Sure.
Having a female boss and watching how men in modern times respond to that has been a lesson in life for me. And I am definitely curious. Every time someone finds out that I work for you, it becomes this thing, especially a male. I mean, women also have their own reaction, but men almost are in disbelief. Like I said, I work for a unicorn. Okay, so I digress.
I'm sure it doesn't happen all the time.
No, not all the time.
Saying frequent. There's a
enough
frequency
of the time. So I just thought it was really cool to find out that 2,500 years ago, he was like, no, she is awesome. She's sitting at the table. I find her to be an equal. So that's a beautiful nod toward his, I would say, his humanity.
And I think that's, speaking of hero consciousness, it's a very heroic stance.
It was a heroic stance at that time.
Right.
Yeah. He's also known for the most famous funeral speech of ancient Greece. He gave a speech, and it has been celebrated all the way up till modern times. People still talk about it, discuss it, and so that's pretty powerful. He was a great orator. One of his contributions to an iconic landmark in Western civilization is the Pantheon in Greece. And it's iconic. I mean, really, when you think about Greece, they almost always show the pillars around a building. It's almost the symbol of democracy itself. It's very interesting, the Pantheon. And Yeah, and then here it is. There's the thing that caused me to just drop anchor and say I'm going with this guy today. He died in a pandemic.
Really?
He died in a pandemic.
I didn't see that coming.
It happened, and it can be argued that he may even ironically be responsible for it by a series of decisions that he made to protect his people.
I see. Okay.
He isolated them, and because of their lack of hygiene, it caused a pandemic. That's the theory.
Okay.
So I thought that was all ironic and fascinating, and I didn't choose him because I knew any of these things.
You found that out.
I discovered that along the journey. Well, at the end, when the end of his life, it said he died in a pandemic, and I was like, all right, hashtag COVID. So, here is the quote. It's a pretty long quote, actually, but it captivates me. It still captivates me. Like, I feel like I'm dissecting it. The whole earth is the tomb of heroic people, and their story is not given only on stone over their clay, but abides everywhere without visible symbol woven into the stuff of other people's lives. When you're heroic, it's not just the carving on your tombstone, but it's woven into the fabric of every life that you've touched. Gorgeous. That quote captivated me, intrigued me, caused me to look him up. His name is Pericles, and he is one of the, you think about the founding fathers of the United States. This is one of the founding fathers of democracy. And so that's my guy, Pericles. I went with him today.
Pericles.
Pericles.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're
Yeah,
welcome. Yeah.
thank you.
Did a little research today. Did that.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And what is
The question of the day?
Question of the day.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the question of the day today actually does center around how do you, and I think that the way it was described is, how do you stop feeling like a victim? How do you become heroic? Like, what do you do? What are the concrete steps? Well, maybe just for you, I don't know, but how do you stop feeling like a victim? Because, I've experienced it. You can keep playing that on repeat.
Sure, right.
I can't believe what
this
they
happened
did.
when I was a child.
Right.
And you're still continuing to feel
How do you stop
that energy,
being a victim,
and using that as
how
well.
do you,
Right. So I think there are. It could be broken down into quite a few stages, but I'm just going to simplify this. What comes to my mind and what I've done in my life. Okay. First, I would say is acceptance. You can accept that you might be feeling some sort of pain, or you might be like, hey, I was a victim of this car accident, for example.
Yeah.
No doubt it happened, right?
Right.
So sometimes you have to bring up those things, bring them up, unearth them, bring them to the surface, and accept that it happened. Okay. Then the next step, which is also very proactive, would be like, okay, well, I want to choose to use this and apply some curiosity. Okay.
Yeah, right?
I'm curious.
It's a bigger picture. Right?
How is this challenging thing that, maybe it's a thing that's happened when I was a child, it's staying with me for so long, but how is this benefiting me? So you ask the question then.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the curiosity. And then you make a decision to heroically go on an adventure to find out the benefit and find out the meaning. And that's the decision to go on your heroic quest. And
I like how you frame that.
The answers will come.
You make the decision to find out what the benefit is. You start the quest.
You got to do the work.
It activates the quest.
Yeah. You got to do the work, right? The work to unearth that and find out how it benefits you. And as you move through that energy, answers will come, and you probably have to work through some more of those. But definitely, when you do that work, you'll become the best version of yourself. And I'm sure Pericles is his name?
That's my guy today. That's the guy.
Sounds like he finished his life being the best version of himself.
Yeah,
So,
in a heroic fashion,
right.
for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for tuning in. And as we always say, be kinder to yourself, be kinder to others, and keep on carrorizing.
All right, goodbye.